Well, folks, Larry Rhodes has the big event coming, and it's on February 14th, Valentine's Day. The open house as the heifers and bulls. You can check them out yourself. And Larry, always good to chat with you.
You too, Sean. We're looking forward to the 14th. We've got a nice group of cattle to sell, and it's a format that's when we moved here from Oklahoma in 1995. For about the first 10 years, we sold cattle private treaty, and then we moved to a different format, the format that we now have, because in private treaty, really only one person gets first pick. So we wanted to give everybody on one day equal opportunity at every animal that we were selling. So we've moved to this format, which is actually called a helmsman's auction. But what we have is a couple boards, and on those boards, one board has all of our bulls that are for sale on it, and underneath the bull's number will be a hook. And anybody that's interested in that particular animal will put their card with their name on that hook. Same with the heifers. And at 12:30, we will then have a bid off. And we look at the board and we look at which bull has the most cards or names on it. That will be our lead-off sale animal. We'll sell that animal, then whoever doesn't get it can move their tag to another bull if they so choose. We look at the board. Whoever has the most tags on it becomes our second bull to sell. Until all of the bulls are sold, then we move on to the heifers. So it works. It's very transparent. It works very, very well. My sister-in-law, Kim Carney Rhodes, is the auctioneer. And it's very low-keyed, and it sounds kind of cumbersome, like it would take forever. But in about an hour, we will have sold about 75 animals. So this is, in a short sense, this is how we run the sale. Now, what drives our sale is the genetics to help the customer produce beef a little bit cheaper and maybe make a little bit more money or have a few less problems than they did prior to buying genetics from us. That's our hope and that's our goal. We numerically describe our animals with things called EPDs, and EPD stands for Expected Progeny Difference. So what these numbers do is they tell you what to expect out of the bulls or the heifers that a person is buying from us. And as I kind of viewed myself as a customer in seed corn, I thought of the conversation that I would have with my seed corn guy. Because there is a number of traits that they can talk about with seed corn. And my question invariably would be, which variety will produce the most tonnage for me? And he'd say, well, this variety. I said, that's the one I want. Enough said, I'm done. When we do our EPDs, the numbers can become overwhelming. Too many numbers. I understand them. I don't expect everybody else to understand them. So if a person wants to focus on calving ease, then we have EPDs for that. If a person wants to focus on yearling weight, we have EPDs for that. If a person wants to focus on replacement females, we have EPDs for that. So if a person can just narrow it down to what are their traits of most importance and then ask Anthony or I a few questions, we can lead them in the right direction. Otherwise, all these numbers can become a little bit daunting. So don't feel like any questions that you have for us is an ignorant question. It is not. And we want to try to make the buying experience as least complicated and enjoyable as possible. So if you want to call us in the evening, if you want to show up to the sale prior to the sale, please do. We want you to make the best decision for your operation that you can make. And as we see the cattlemen and women of this area getting older and older, what we see are a couple things. Number one, the importance of calving ease continues to drift upward. And number two, the importance of docility, or the temperament of the animal. We see it gravitating up and up. People do not want to deal with rank animals. So those are a couple EPDs that we make sure are on our website. We make sure are on our information. But we don't know what everybody really wants. So we have quite a few traits that we list. The traits that you will want to select for are on there, but it may take some sifting through. So if you want to just shorten up the mental effort a little bit, just give us a call. We'll be glad to walk through it with you and say, if what you're describing, if I were picking them, I'd narrow it down to these animals. And then when you walk into bulls, just focus on those animals. Don't look at all of them. Just put your blinders on and look at those animals. That's about the best advice I can give you in selection, is narrow it down. Do not make it too complicated and cumbersome, and rely on us to help guide you with your decision.
Talking about an event like this, hands-on, a beginner can be kind of, coached up for the process. Is this becoming more rare with technology and everything else? Is this just kind of a special event that obviously it's a success that some people really treasure because it's kind of that old school handshake, discussion-driven kind of event?
Well, we've got a couple different age groups here. I'm 65. I'm not great with technology. So I would rather look at the animal, touch, feel, see how it walks, see the disposition, see how it reacts to me, etc. And I like radio advertising. My son is 38. He likes the technology. He can't get enough of the technology. So there's a little bit of a chasm between the way these two age groups look at things, the way they understand advertising, etc. So depending on what age group you're in, you may want to ask Anthony questions. If you're an older generation, you may want to ask me questions. We're going to look at things slightly differently. And that's actually, for us, that's an asset that we can kind of cover all the bases in regards to questions that our customer base may have.
Boy, finding that bull and heifer balance, is that pretty much industry standard, or is that something you take pride in, having a lot to offer on both sides?
Well, we like, in the cow business, we enjoy cows that do everything themselves. They just don't need much help. We expect a lot out of them, and we feel like anybody that buys them is going to be happy with them. Now, that doesn't all the time work out, but if there's a problem, we're going to take care of it to their satisfaction. You just don't know about genetics. There's always the bell curve that's involved in that, and we understand that. So we want to make sure that our service after the sale is paramount, and that whatever problems may arise, they will be taken care of swiftly and to your satisfaction, because they will arise.
Governor's Sale of Champions, other events, the cattle, the legends are born. Maybe they don't race in the Kentucky Derby like something that happens with horse racing. Maybe they don't have races, and that would be interesting, wouldn't it? But nonetheless, it's almost like the same driven mindset to find legends and keep that family chain going, and that's a heck of a science, getting the best breeds and keeping that bloodline going.
Well, we have cow families that we've had since, I'm going to say, the 70s. And you get to know the cow families very well and the traits that cow family possesses. And just doesn't happen overnight. We're talking several generations. So when a person comes in and says, we're looking for this or we're looking for that, my mind goes towards cow families and then to sires. So about every bull that we're selling, I think it is every bull that we're selling is out of an AI sire, meaning it's we don't own the bull. We buy semen on the bull, breed the cow artificially, and then that's the resulting offspring. These particular cattle we don't know as well. We look at them by numbers, but we also talk to people that have their progeny, and we want to know how are they doing for them. One of the things that we've kind of taken from the dairy industry is that the bulls that are of greatest value are the proven bulls. Bulls that have had progeny born all over the country in a number of environmental situations. Until that bull is 6, 7 years old, we don't know that much about them. But once they get to be 6, 7, 8, then we feel confident in using that bull in our program, and we have the best opportunity then to let our customers know what to expect out of that particular bull. We do know quite a bit about the cow family that produced the bull, but that's only half the equation. We want to know about the bull as well. So it takes a while. It takes a while to be able to answer the questions accurately.
Talking about an open house and the showmanship of it all, that Oklahoma background, Red River, when I think of cattle in this country, I think of Texas and Oklahoma. What does that background from OK bring to the table as you work up here?
Well, in this region of the country, for the most part, people have other jobs, occupations that are their primary income. We lived out in Afton, Oklahoma, which was in the corner, kind of the four corners of Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Arkansas. Not about halfway between Joplin, Missouri, and Tulsa, Oklahoma. And that is the highest concentration of cows and calves in the world. The people out there, that is how they make their living, is with their cow herds. So there's a different level of importance in their decision-making process on the genetics. And we just brought that back to Illinois with us.
That's got to be an interesting environment. I guess when you survive in that environment, I can imagine how competitive it is. Everything, the competitions, the day-to-day business, it's got to be a different atmosphere. Day-to-day, the pressure's a little tighter, and I guess it just prepares you for anything in the business.
The one thing that I'd have to say about commercial cattle people, and I don't know if it matters if you're in Venezuela, Mexico, Canada, the United States, they're salt of the earth people that work very, very hard. It's still a handshake type of a deal. Honesty, integrity is everything. I have the good fortune of dealing with the best people in the world. And I take that responsibility very seriously. It's a group of people that I want to associate with and emulate. So I feel extremely fortunate to get to deal with those sorts of people. We still have quite a few customers from Kansas and Oklahoma that buy in our sale. They predominantly do it over the phone. We post videos on our website, and they'll call up and ask questions, and they'll say, I'm interested in these cattle. When you get to them, give me a call, and I'll bid over the phone. So that is what we do there. We also have customers from California that do the same thing. So it's that is one nice thing about technology. When you can post videos, you can post all these EPDs, you can post registration numbers. These people can look at these animals and dissect them quite a bit, and then with a pretty good degree of confidence, bid on the ones that they want to be bidding on, even though they're not there. It's worked out very well for us. So I say I don't really like technology, or I'm not very good at it, but I do see the importance of it.
It can be an up and down relationship. I can imagine it. I have to think on the technology end too when you talk about the videos, etc. The fact that even the simplest phone, higher definition video, that people can really zoom in and see the quality of, the various parts of the bull, the heifer, and they get a whole different picture than maybe 5 years ago.
Oh yeah, and we do all our videos ourselves, and my son is always like, well, we need to get a new iPhone or a new iPad because the resolution's better, and it's like, geez, I look at it and I think, you sure we need to spend that, And he's no, we need to, and he's right. He's right. He's all about doing things as well as he possibly can. I guess getting as close to perfection as he can. And I'm more like, we've got a job to do after this one. Let's go. So we butt heads every so often. I guess as any father son that works together can attest to. But he's kind of pulling me kicking and screaming into the technology world, and he hasn't given up on me yet.
Well, you mentioned the quality of the people in the business, and I can imagine a lot of that comes into play with customers too. It has to be gratifying to be in a business built on trust.
It
and
is
repeat business and handshakes.
Absolutely. We're really fortunate in this area that there's been a new packing plant built out by Wentzville, Missouri. A big packing plant, brand new packing plant. That is going to help the producers in this area garner more money for their product. We've already taken some slaughter animals out there, kill cows, kill bulls, and I was pleasantly surprised by the check that came back. And that plant is going to be a really good deal for the cattle producers in this area because they're going to bid up to get them.
Wentzville, there's a reason GM is still there. Access to 270, which of course is a gateway to other interstates, 70, 44, 55, all within reasonable distance. That's a real crossroads kind of spot on the map. That really ties you into a lot of opportunities.
Oh, I'm hopeful that a representative of America's Heartland Packing is going to be at the sale so that they can explain a little bit about themselves. I'm hopeful. I don't know that that's going to happen, but if they can, I assured them that they would be given an opportunity to address the customer base and tell them about their programs that they offer, and I just see this as being something that's happening in our area that is really, really good, and people don't quite realize it yet because it's just opened.
I'm terrible with abusing sports analogies, but you talk about this AI success, and to me, it just sounds like having a minor league baseball player, watching them complete the jump to A, to AA, to AAA, and making it to the show, and they've progressed, and no shortcuts, and you've reached the final stage. It's got to be really gratifying to see a plan come together, so to speak.
It is, and we're in just the best part of the cattle cycle right now. We've never seen prices this high. Keep waiting for them just to fall, but the heifer retention has never started, and if it hasn't started by now, I don't know if it's going to. And if that's the case, then we could be in a good spell with this cattle cycle for a while. I still think everyone needs to keep track of how do I produce this really good product that I want to produce for less money every year? How do I do that? How can I make myself a least cost producer without sacrificing the quality of my product? And in this area, if a person is out there and not taking advantage of byproducts that can be purchased sometimes very, very cheaply coming out of Decatur or out of St. Louis, I think that they need to look into that. That in our area is a huge competitive advantage to almost any other area in the country. So if you have questions about that, I would be glad to visit with you about that.
How hard is it to stay ahead of the crowd and stay at the top of the heap? I can imagine you can't ever back off the accelerator. You just keep pushing for the next level, I guess.
No, I'd have to disagree with that. What I've found over time is that the cows that now I like the most are the cows that I notice the least, and that they just stay in there and do everything well, never really bring attention to themselves, but they stay in there. They good dispositions, good udders, they produce a long time, a lot of longevity, and they're middle of the road type of cattle. No matter what you do, the pendulum is going to swing in your industry. So if you can stay close to the middle, you're going to catch that pendulum coming and going. That's what we try to produce. Very, very good middle-of-the-road cattle that will just hang in there with you and make you profitable more often than not. There are times in the cattle business that you just aren't going to make money. We're in a period of time right now where we can make some money. But efficiency keeps you in business, any business. So we strive to produce very efficient animals that are built for our environment. And if they're built for our environment, they're going to be built for our customers' environment. So we're really not after the show animal. We're not after the animals with the biggest numbers. We just want very, very good, solid, productive animals that do it consistently.
So let's come back around to the big event, Valentine's Day, February 14th. I know people are going to fall in love with these bulls and heifers that they can check out. And what do folks need to do in advance, if anything?
Well, if you're interested in coming and you're unsure of directions or anything else, please just give us a call, 217-473-5868. Or you can go to our website, which is Rhodes, Rhodes, Angus.com. Or you can also always send an email, and that's rhodesangus@royell.org, RHODESANGUS@ROYELL.org. We will kind of direct you from there. You give us a call and ask any question you'd like. We'll answer it to the best of our ability. And if you think this may be something that sounds good to you in the future, but you're really not looking for anything now, please come. See how it works. See if we do have what you might want, and visit with us during the sale, after the sale, and I think it will just make your comfort level of coming back a little bit greater. I know sometimes going to a sale and you see all the people and you think everybody else has got the answer, but it can be intimidating. I assure you that is not the case. The questions you may have, 10 other people around you have them. They just aren't asking them. So please don't feel intimidated by coming to our place. We would love to have you.
And let's just, for those who haven't been, tell us about your spread there west of Carlinville.
It's a cow-calf operation. Our cow herd is basically registered Angus cows that are multiple generations out of AI sires. We like to breed a lot to Simmental. I feel like there's no better cross in the mid-United States than the Angus Simmental cross. I believe they just check all the boxes. But in order to come up with that cross, we have to make the best Angus female we possibly can and then select the best Simmental bulls we possibly can. So we put a lot of emphasis on sire selection. That's probably the biggest, most important job that I have every year, is coming up with the correct sires to use in our AI selection and breeding program. So that job has pretty well been done already this year. We start calving in late November, so we've already bred our first heifer for next year. In the cold, we start breeding when it's cold, and we'll continue to do so. We calve primarily in December and January, but we're wanting to move that up more to November, December. And as we do that, we just wish to stack the generations up with very, very good genetics, keeping in mind what it is that our customer needs. And we see that as something that's going to calve well, something that's got a good disposition, and something that's going to grow well. And when I say well, I'm not saying it has to be the greatest at any of those traits, but it has to be good enough. And the only way we can do that is by selecting very, very proven AI sires in our program. So that's always the pinnacle and most important thought that we have going in sire selection.
Let's talk about the day of the big event timeline and all of the various events within the big day.
Well, the day is this coming Saturday, the 14th. People can show up whenever they want. They get their chores done. Our cattle will be in a couple pens in a building. Our bulls will. The Angus bulls will be separate from the Sem-Angus bulls. And then our heifers will all be in one pen together. People, depending on what they want to go look at, there will be information about the animals there, or you can bring your sale flyer with you. Walk through the animals, see what you like, see what you think, and make yourself a few notes. About 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, we'll have some donuts, orange juice, coffee, etc. About 11:30 or so, we'll have some chili and hot dogs, some chips for lunch. And then at 12:30, we'll announce it's time for the bid off to start. So if you are interested in bidding on anything, get your cards on those animals. And at approximately 12:30, then we will look at the board and the bid off will start. And by about 1:30, maybe 1:45, the sale will be over. And that will be it. And we tell people, don't worry about bringing a livestock trailer to the sale. Now, if you're from out of state and you want to take it back with you, we understand that. But Anthony or I can deliver those bulls to you free of charge. Now, on the heifers, whoever buys the heifers, they will be responsible for trucking those heifers home. They do not have to be hauled that particular day. And on the heifers, we offer a bred heifer option. If you want the heifer to stay at our place and us to breed them artificially and send you back with a bred heifer, we can do that as well at an additional fee, but we can do that. And we do that for probably about half of the heifers that we sell.
Boy, that's outstanding. And where can folks find out more, website, what have you?
Yeah, just go to rhodesangus.com, RHODES, Angus.com. And you will see different tabs. There will be a home page, and then there will be bulls, heifers, Wagyu heifers. This is the first year we've done Wagyu. We just have a couple there. It's a little bit different situation. If you really like high quality beef and you have a locker beef or freezer beef program of your own, these are a couple of animals you may want to consider incorporating into your herd. We'll have that, and any information that we can give you towards how to use EPDs to best help you reach the breeding goals that you and your operation have, we'll spend whatever time is necessary to help you with those. Even if you don't buy anything from us, you buy it from someone else, this education will help you. It will help you make the decisions that will improve your production on your operation.
Well, Larry Rhodes, always enjoy the visit, and best of luck to you. And for folks who want to get into the cattle business or just curious about it, this is a heck of a gateway. And it's, of course, a great place for old pros, too.
Thank you very much, Sean. I've enjoyed the interview. I enjoy dealing with WSMI. It's the age group that I like, that I mean, and I understand. The younger tech wizard generation, I'm not so sure I understand that one very well.
Well, I have to watch my dated references. There are challenges trying to connect with the next generation, and I don't know. Hopefully, I get it done half the time. 100% will never happen, but I'll try. Thanks again, Larry.
Thank you very much.